Did you learn or come away with anything in particular from the fallout or feedback from Tyreek last year, and just from drafting him? And I wonder how you draw the line between caution light and red flag on things. I know it's different in each case, but just how you go about determining that.
I mean, we have a very thorough process in place. We always have had the thorough process in place. And we have a checks and balance system in place. What we do is we do very intensive research. And what we do is normally, I have always done this and I will always continue to do this, on Tuesday before the draft in those types of cases, we sit down collectively with the coaching staff, some scouts in certain areas, some decision makers, the head coach and myself, and we'll collectively say, is this guy a person that Chiefs fit? So after that extensive research that we've done with Tyreek, we thought yes, he was a perfect fit for the Chiefs.
Did it matter to you in any way that there was a lot of, from us included, and also in the community, that there was a lot of skepticism about that, or you just have to know your own course and how you're putting risk reward into it yourself?
Well, no, I understand that. It's a process, and I have to be strong enough as a decision maker to say what's in the best interest of this organization, this community, and I will do that, and I always have done that. And, you know, he is exactly who I thought he would be as a person. And so, you know, no. Do I think about that? I told you many years ago, I turned the radio, the TV, and the newspaper off like the last 6 weeks, and I'll still do that. Block out all that noise.
Yeah, John, you were pretty clear about the due diligence you guys did with Tyreek last year.
Yes, sir.
Just curious from your part, man. There's some talented guys that have like a history. Obviously, Joe Mixon, D.D. Westbrook from Oklahoma too. These are pretty talented guys. Just you know, A, you did as much work on them, I'm assuming, as you did on Tyreek, and B, do you have to think twice about taking somebody with that specific history after you made that jump last year?
Well, it's, again, we have a process in place. And I think I stated earlier in one of the earlier questions that Vahe said that I'm a creature of habit. I like my little system in order in place because that's the system we talk about. You do things, that's how I'm compartmentalized. And, you know, we know he's a very talented running back, but with my process, when we deal with these types of situations, we had that meeting on Tuesday before Thursday's draft in place. So when those decisions are made, that's on that Tuesday, and then you can make the ultimate decisions.
What happens if you ever get like, I know you've got your guys around the country, but what happens if you get like some information on Wednesday that might change what you talked about, or that could potentially impact what you talked about on Tuesday?
The credibility of the information is very important in Tantamount, especially at that Wednesday before Thursday draft. And if it's credible, it will impact certain things, and I will pay attention to it. All depends on who the source was.
So if the source is really good, you might just say, okay, let me revisit this with my guys, and
we'll talk it through, because communication, as you well know, is everything.
John, along those lines, do you have to consider, I know every case is different, but do you have to consider cumulative statement or cumulative impact of having X amount of people with X amount of prior, you know, let's say domestic violence situations? Would you have to take that into account?
I think it's a case-by-case business. I mean, case-by-case study and research, because as I look at this thing, I want to make sure that when that person comes to Kansas City, he will not only fit into this locker room, but also into the community. And I've always taken that into accountability.
So you don't think that there's like a balance where you can take on so much, you know, troubled past on a particular roster versus, you know, say, you know, really good or, you know, different?
I think we got, I mean, really, we have a very strong locker room, and I've always said that strong locker room is so important. But again, it's a case-by-case basis, and is there, I look at it, when I try to sit and talk to people, I want to see, you know, are they a good person? I mean, my faith says that, you know, look in every man's soul and see if he truly has a blessed soul. And that's kind of how I look at things.